So the story behind the poem, A Tree, is remarkable and let me start over. So the story behind the poem, A Tree, is one that is not that my process was different. I've said before, maybe my new followers don't know this, but when I write poetry, I don't have an idea before I start writing. I usually just get a word. A word comes to my mind and I'm like, I could write a poem about that. Or I'll have a thought or an idea. It's usually early in the morning or the middle of the night. Sometimes it's midday, especially if I've been on a nature walk. If I've been out in nature, a lot of times I'll have a thought or a word. But on this particular day, I was sitting on my front porch and I hadn't written in a while. And not in the way where the words just flowed out. And there's a tree in front of my house. And I just kind of was joking myself into, I can write a poem about anything. Let me just think of a random noun. There's a tree. I'll write a poem about a tree. And so I just started writing. And as I started to write, I thought of the process of a tree growing and how it lives and how it's formed and what it must be thinking while we all play around it and its life cycle. And the words just kept flowing out. And I thought the poem was going to have a meaning of my life. Well, it did. It does. But I thought I was the tree. Just being a mom and a wife and a girl and my own dreams and sometimes not being seen or heard or understood, but just always being there in the background. And it does have all those meanings. But it wasn't until it just kept going. And most of my poems are short, one page, sometimes really a couple of words a line. This was coming out like, it felt like a novel. I was just like, what is happening? I'm getting these full-blown sentences and phrases and it just kept flowing out. And so I flipped the paper over and filled another whole page. And it wasn't until I got about 2/3 of the way down the second half of the paper that my heart caught in my chest and I knew what the tree was. And the only reason I'm here telling my story is because of him, because my story is ultimately to share his story. And if you don't know who I'm speaking of the one who gave everything. He gave his life for every person that he created. And his name is Jesus in English. In other languages, he's known as other names. But when you know him and you have a relationship with him, it's not religion. It's not laws and rules to follow. It is not something that he holds you up. He lifts you up. He gives you rest. You're not performing for him. He is loving you. And everything that I do, that I am praised for, you are praising him, because nothing I do is good. Anything I do comes from the abundance of life that he gives me. And that's why I'm here. And I know that my audience is for one, and I'm so pleased when I meet fellow travelers on this road. We're all strangers in a strange land. We all long for a world that our heart was created for. And yeah, that's the story behind that poem. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a blessed day. Talk to you later. Bye.